This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
FM 89.9 KMOJ, no doubt. Looking at 30 minutes after the hour, 3 o'clock within the Twin Cities. Walter Q. Banks Jr. got you on the afternoon drive, no doubt about it. When it comes to Little Moments Count. Now, just letting you know that Little Moments Count is brought to you and presented in partnership with Little Moments Count. But even on that, it is a statewide collaborative focusing on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of the brain development in the first 3 years of life. Nearly 80% of the brain, now hear this out now, nearly 80% of the brain growth happens in your first 1,000 days of a small, interactions when you're that little one. So we're talking about, being able to talk with speech, playing, reading, singing, those kind of things like that. Those mobile kind of factors kick in. And if you like more information, you can visit at littlemomentscount.org. And on this early afternoon, we got Danielle Buckner. I like to say good early afternoon, and how you doing?
Good afternoon. I am well. How are you?
About 6'3" and chilling, and you already know. Now, for the listening audience, give us just a little bit about yourself, because I already know. But then, with the marriage and that kind of thing. But then when it comes to the schooling and that kind of thing, you and all of the rest of the family that went from Minnesota to Arkansas to New York to, you name it, claim it, has been done. So give us just a little bit of your background when it comes to that early learning in childhood.
Yeah. So I'm sure, as y'all know, I am, by my last name, I'm a part of the Buckner clan by marriage, but also by blood and birth, I am kin to the Hoods and Sherry Hood and the Orrs as well, from the old hospitality house. So, of course, my bloodline and my roots are deep, deep, deep on the north side. So I'm originally from here, born and raised. I live here now with my husband and my daughter. Went to Washburn High School. I didn't do the Northside thing, unfortunately, but I stayed true to the hood, stayed here, and lived here my whole life. And then I went on for post-secondary. No doubt. I will always. And I even am raising my daughter here on the North Side. So, yeah, after I graduated, I went to the University of Minnesota, and I got my Bachelor's of Science in Sport Management with an emphasis on community relations and a minor in youth studies. So that kind of brought me all the way full circle to the early childhood side of things over here at the Northside Achievement Zone.
Okay, and let me ask, how tall are you now since the last time I seen you?
I hope I haven't grown. I am still, I'll say 5'10". Let's give it
You're
that.
much taller than that. Quit playing. Stop that. Stop that. But for the listening audience, give us just a little bit about when it comes to the Early Childhood Systems Coordinator at NAZ, which is Northside Achievement Zone, and what are the responsibilities of that position?
Yeah, so we call our organization, the different parts of it, our ecosystem, right? And so we have a couple of different things: parent and youth education, early childhood, which I'm a part of, kindergarten to college academic supports, and family achievement coaching and partner staff. And then we do some career and financial mobility. And then we also help with housing. So I know y'all heard a ton of different things about the Northside Achievement Zone because they've been on the North Side forever and have been doing the good work that we need for our families and things like that. And so in my role, I help support our early childhood department in helping. Right now, our families are receiving birth work as in doula services. And so a doula, if you don't know, is like a mother to the mother during their pregnancy. And sometimes families don't know, but the Black maternal health rate in the world is really, really at a high level when it comes to birth outcomes. And so there has been studies that have shown that when families have a doula and birthing persons have a doula, the ratio of the death rate, which is 2 to 3 times higher than our white counterparts, that goes down drastically. And so the Northside Achievement Zone has taken on the stance where we want to stand in the gap for families and provide doula services as well as 5 and 4 star parent aware rated child care centers on the north side. And so we have a number of partners there where we help families get child care for their little ones. 0 to 3 is really where we really focus on in that early childhood area, but also beyond those ages as well.
Okay, so now can you give us some effective strategies when it comes to engaging parents and caregivers when it comes to their children at an early age when we're talking about education?
Yeah. Sometimes I think we are told that it has to be like we are pseudo teachers. Now, parents, I will say the power goes to the parents first and foremost because that's who our children's first teachers are. But I know some parents after being in the pandemic, they're like, "Look, I ain't no teacher. I can raise my kids, I can do those things, but when it comes to academic teaching, that's not my strong suit." But what we really want to encourage families on the north side and beyond to recognize that it's much more simple than we think. Those little moments when we're doing our children's hair, right? I have a daughter. So the things that we watch or the things that we listen to, you pop on them educational YouTubes, or if you pop on just some songs. I don't know if I can drop names, but the Gracie's Corners of the world, the Bino and Finos on YouTube, they are teaching our children lots and lots of things, and just the repetition and just the constant practice of saying our ABCs, counting and those things with parents do so much. It goes a really long way. And so I want us to remember that it doesn't have to be these super complicated ideas of how we spend time with our children and how we pour into them. But am I still there?
Oh no, you're still here. I'm
Oh,
listening. You
I'm
teaching
sorry.
me, and
Okay.
I'm much older than you are.
Okay, I was like, it went quiet, but they can be. It's way more simple than we think, and so little times, like you said, laugh, sing, play, moments when we're doing our kids' hair, or we're around the house cleaning up. You can turn everything into a game. When you're reading stuff in your home, labeling different things can be done. Just having conversation. We forget how important it is just to speak with our children. That's where they're learning sounds and inflections and meanings of words. And so spending time with our little ones, and trust and believe, a little bit goes a long way. And so if you're like, man, I can't get to that every night, set a goal of maybe trying to do it 2 to 3 nights a week and then go from there. But we can really, really capitalize on those precious moments in the foundational years by just speaking and talking with our little ones.
No doubt, no doubt. And one of the things that I believe in is the reading is real key.
Yes.
Words makes differences, and
Yep.
and how you speak in front of your child or other children makes a
Yeah.
difference. Respect and those these kind of words that I'm saying here is something that I know you already know because
Oh,
you've
yeah.
been because I know your tutelage of where it come from.
Right.
But for the listening audience, how important, and this is just me asking you because it's like when and ladies, if y'all don't know, fellas, if y'all don't know, this is someone that I consider a niece because of knowing the whole family from beginning to end to back in the day with singing the angelic chorus and Vera Jenkins and the whole nine, and then watching the musical side of her family along with the Buckner family. The Buckners got so many twins in their family to where it's like, but just with all of that love and all of that around, how do you tell some other children or some other child, even some parents or adults, because you know you can learn from the youngest, even though
Mhm.
you might be the oldest in the room. But
Mhm.
how
Mhm.
important is it to just listen and to be around and just be observant?
Super important. I think you touched on something really, really important in reading. I know for me personally, and not to just make this a personal testimony, but I know one thing we really wanted to instill in our daughter is literacy is important. And a lot of that comes from like, yeah, you can teach literacy, you can read books, you can do all that different stuff. But like you said, modeling that for my child was something that I had to take into account and say, hey, you want her to care about literacy, you need to start reading some stuff. So whether that's me picking up a physical book in front of her or me popping in some AirPods and listening to a podcast or listening to an audiobook, that type of stuff, it goes a long way. And I think being able to engage our children and ask them, okay, so what are your things that you're interested in? What do you like? Okay, you like this. How can we turn that into something that we can build on? And so I think you really touched on a big point when saying simply talking and listening and being present. Not the I'm scrolling on my phone and I'm being present, but like fully engaged, asking your scholars, how can I support you? And I know some families are like, I support you day in and day out. And you do, parents, you do support your scholars. But I think there's something beautiful in going deeper and learning exactly what it is that they are interested in. And then we as parents build on that and expound and discover more stuff, because there's stuff that we might not understand or not know about that scholars are teaching us because they're right there in it. The young folks really have the pulse, so we got to listen.
And number one question and the very last question, and I'm really listening for this answer. Who's the better singer between Mr. Drummer himself, Mr. L.A. Buckner, Mrs. Danielle Buckner? Who's the better singer?
You trying to sow discord in my home.
I'm listening.
Y'all would be actually surprised, and he is going to get me if he hears this, but you would be surprised. The apples do not fall far from the tree. And I can hold my own a little bit. I hum quietly. Let me not even say that, because I don't want anybody to put me on the spot and try to ask me to sing, because I don't. But LA, he can sing. And I'm not just saying that because that's my husband, but he can sing. And people don't know that. People don't know that. So I give it to him. I give it to him.
No doubt. I want to say thank you very much for the time and opportunity just to sit down and talk to you. All right?
Thank you so much. Sorry about the mishap before, but I'm so glad we could talk.
No doubt, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, just letting you know, little moments count. We're going to talk about it, and we're definitely going to let you know that was Danielle Buckner. And I'm letting y'all know, it's cut and dry, that she is so cold. Her, the family, the list goes on, the Buckner family. And when you're talking about an institution with just those two families with those last names alone, man, I'm just saying. I am just saying. But if you like more information, you like to hear more about Little Moments Count, all you have to do is go to littlemomentscount.org. It's FM 89.9 KMOJ, no doubt about it. It's the People's Station. Yeah, baby.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.